guys, welcome back to part 3. For those of you that have seen my 2 other videos based on the bikes that I've owned, which would have been the Virago 750 and the Honda Shadow, welcome to number 3, the KLR 650. If this is your first time viewing and you just saw a KLR 650 link and you're thinking about buying one, listen to my story. It's not a review as such, but I'll definitely tell you what I think and what I did to the bike and the things that I thought were great and the things that were not so great. So it's kind of a review, but it's kind of not. It's more about my relationship with my dear and beloved KLR 650. So guys, first off, I still hadn't sold my Honda Shadow. Okay, I know I kind of left it at the end that you thought that I'd be selling my Honda Shadow, but that has not happened yet. That doesn't happen for a little while. What had happened was I was driving that Honda Shadow as a work bike, and I build houses for a living. I'm a general contractor. So I was using that bike. I was putting drills in the saddlebags and everything else and strapping lumber to it and all this other. I was still respecting the bike, guys, don't get me wrong, but I was treating them like they treat them in Thailand. I was using it for everything. It was saving me a ton of money from my work truck on gas. Most of my job is going out and looking at blueprints with guys or getting stuff done for people or ordering things. So it wasn't really affecting me adversely to drive around a motorcycle. Anyway, so I was driving that baby around all the time and I went to write off a bunch of stuff on it. To my accountant. My accountant looks at me and goes, "The government is gonna come after you big time, buddy. Like, they are gonna crucify you." Man, why can't I write this off? It's legitimately my work vehicle. He goes, "Well, you know what you gotta do? If you guys need to use this to get yourself a second bike, I'm just stopping and pausing here just to let you know that if you need to use this argument for your wives to get a second bike, listen carefully." So, the guy tells me, you know, you're a lot better off to do it the same way you would if you own your own vehicle. You're gonna get a company truck. He said, you need the company truck to do company work. That's what you do. He said, so if you have a bike, go get a bike that's specifically tailored to do what you need for your company and buy that for the company. That's all I gotta do. So I explained it to my wife, who of course is rolling her eyes at the time, but she knows it's pretty much done that her husband's getting a bike because he loves bikes so much. It's the only conversation she really gets to have with me is if she talks about motorbikes. I'm sure some of you guys are the same way. Try to treat your wives good. Try to talk about some soap opera or something with them. Maybe they'll like that. Anyway, so I get the KLR 650. Before I even took it out of the showroom, I didn't like the way it sounded. So new exhaust. I bought a Super Trap exhaust. I might have had a bad one, guys, but I blew the... they have these little baffles to keep it quieter and louder, and you replace and... So I did the carb kit and everything, but I literally blew those right out. That exhaust didn't last me 10,000 K. I also took the sprocket down, one tooth, and because I wanted more jam to lift up over the logs. The thing's pretty heavy in the front. It's hard to wheelie unless you're on pavement. On the gravel, you can do it, but you have to have perfect timing. Like when there's a log in your way, don't count on your front wheel coming up so that you can hop the log. A lot of times it ain't gonna happen. It's just gonna spin out in the back. And I'm talking TKC 80s, which are the Continental tires that most people buy if they want to do some serious off-roading and still ride a little bit of street. Anyway, so I did that. The new exhaust that I got replaced ended up being a Vance and Hines, and it was great. It worked fabulous. I had to repack it once and that was it. Anyway, the KLR 650, wonderful bike. I was taking lumber to the job sites. I was all over the place. I took it to Washington and we went on a huge bike ride there. It was a street ride. It wasn't an off-road ride. I'd done lots of off-road with it back on the job sites. some belly pan hills, these big tall like 15-foot high hills that are straight up and then rip right up there, and I was jumping it, I was wheeling it, I lost my back case off it on a jump one time. It was fun, like it was good fun. The bike's, you know, just right. I was burning oil though on my highway trips. The trip to Washington and everything, I always had to have a liter of oil in the bike. We'd stop after about 2 tanks, I'd have to top it up again. I was burning a lot of oil. Me being the guy now, I'm getting into this aftermarket stuff. I bought a Schnitz racing kit, made it a 685, the bore-out kit. A new cylinder sleeve, a new piston, and that was nice. Then the front wheel came up a little nicer on it. Still heavy in the front. The tank is huge. When you had a full tank of gas, you almost wanted to use half a tank and then go off-roading because it made a difference in the weight. Bike was a good bike. I wouldn't recommend it for doing regular 130 kilometer an hour or 80 mile an hour jaunts. It really likes to sit between, say, 60 and 70 mile an hour. It'll do that all day. But you start to get into that 80 mile an hour range, and I was really burning oil. Maybe you guys haven't. I didn't ever replace doohickeys or anything like that. I had a belly pan protector. I didn't do a whole lot to that bike. I put a bunch of stickers on it. I bought a Corbin Seat to lower it. I'm only 5 foot, maybe 8 if I'm being optimistic. So I bought that Corbin Seat, and that's all I really did to the bike, and I put 40,000 kilometers on that. I did get a hard set of luggage from Givi though. Givi, the Italian guys that make the luggage sets, and I put the racks on and everything, and that was great for trips and stuff. They were watertight, they were good. They never really took the brunt of a big hit, so I don't know how they do on whether or not they stand up if you tip your bike over hard. There's a couple mild fallovers that never seem to disturb them, but if you're going to be in places where you're tipping your bike over a lot, it's probably best to either get soft luggage that just hangs off your bike, or the Pelican cases or whatever, the steel hard panniers. That might work a little bit better. Love that bike, and guys, I would recommend one for the price. There's not too much better. Decided I wanted a little bit more of a road bike that could also handle the dirt. I was really loving the go anywhere attitude of that bike, and that's what it's about. Take off, do whatever you want. You can do it on your lunch break, go see some scenery. It's beautiful. But all things come to the end. Again, over 40,000 kilometers on a single cylinder that had been driven quite hard. I traded it in on a brand new 2012 Triumph Tiger 800XC. So next video, we're gonna go into the Triumph Tiger 800XC, which is still currently in my possession. But we'll talk about that and a little bit more next time, guys. Subscribe, leave your comments. How about your first time into dual sport riding, or do you have any questions about it? Put it in the comments below. I'll respond back to you guys. It's always fun hearing from you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.